Yes, sir, I did.
All right, what are you requesting and why?
I would like to be requesting every weekend to see my son. Currently have no time that I get him.
You have no time currently?
Yeah.
Oh, why not?
I mean, I've been able to see him, but I haven't been able to keep him. I get him for a couple hours here and there, but I'd like to have him more often.
Okay. All right. Ma'am, what's your position in this as far as Mr. Brock's request for parenting time, Mr. Van Brock?
I have never told him no. At any time he gets a hold of me and requests to see Jameson, he does. I just do not want him overnight. They don't have sleeping arrangements for him.
How old's the child?
8 months.
How long the two of you been separated?
We've never been together in the child's life.
Oh, okay.
But also add in there, I do have sleeping arrangements for my son. I also have another son. I mean, that's wrong.
But ma'am, why don't you think that Mr. Van Brock has sleeping arrangements? He indicates that he does.
I've been in their house. I have seen a toddler bed and a bassinet pack and play. But there is 5 children in the home, not all at the same time. But when they are all there at the same time, where would my son be sleeping?
So, sir, where would this 8-month-old be sleeping?
The 8-month-year-old would be sleeping in the bassinet, and the other boys. There is also another room in the house where the boys could also sleep.
I'm
That
unaware
has
of
2 beds in it already.
All right. So, ma'am, he's indicated this child would sleep in the bassinet.
They have a 6-week-old baby that I believe sleeps in that same bassinet, so that doesn't make any sense to me.
And it comes into 2. It separates.
2 bassinets?
Yes, it does.
Does that sound better, ma'am?
I would request that we do every other Sunday during the day until he's at least a year old. I don't want him to be overnight until he's at least 1. And then I would like to do like every other weekend, but not, I don't want to do every weekend. I work during the week too, so that's going to take him on my only days off as well.
All right. And sir, how much time have you actually had with this 8-month-old child?
I've had him a few times. I'm going to guess maybe 3 or 4 times that I've had him here.
Just for a
And
couple
I've
of
gone
hours
to
at a
see
time?
him, but I always have to leave and go to see him in White Cloud, and I'd rather just have my own parenting time with him. I don't think it's right
I
that I have
brought
to
him.
travel to see him.
Right, 3 to 4 times though, just a couple hours at a time?
Yep.
All right. Well,
And I have plenty of other kids. I mean, it's not like I'm not capable of taking care of them.
I get that, but why the two of you have never been together? And in 8 months, you've only had 3 or 4 visits for a couple hours here and there. And you didn't file this. You filed the motion, but you didn't file the lawsuit. Why didn't you file way back when for parenting time?
Well,
Right?
for a good chunk of the time, we didn't know if this was my son or not, and she was with another man that doesn't get along. So I didn't reach out because at the time, I didn't know if it was my kid or not. And then we did a DNA test, and then she filed the lawsuit. So now I'm reaching out to have parenting time with my son.
Well, the prosecutor filed it, but
Oh, gotcha.
um, but on her behalf, I guess, to A, establish paternity, and B, probably
Mhm.
establish custody and child support orders.
Which we never did the paternity test through the courts. It was just she got one, came to my dad's, we did it, it came back, and now here we are.
Well, um,
May I speak?
hold on.
Okay.
We held a hearing on April 12th. At that time, I would have asked you if you agreed that you were the father. If you didn't, that would be the time that you could have requested a DNA test, but you must have agreed at that time that you
Yeah,
were.
I did.
Okay. So you would have had the opportunity to have a court-ordered.
Oh, I'm not saying that I don't need one. I feel as if we already had one. Now I know it's my son.
Okay. But did you have an idea that the child might have been your son
I
for
did.
the
I did.
7 months prior to that?
I had an idea I was there for the birth, but then immediately after that, she left with this man, and I figured that maybe they found out that it was his son. Because after that, she ghosted. She never said anything from Halloween.
Okay, my point is that any time over those intervening months, you could have filed something with the court on the belief that it was your child and had the court address it.
Well, at that time, I didn't know. I had no idea.
And I
imagine I probably should have gone for it anyway.
Right, and we might be having a totally different conversation about how much parenting time you would have if you had regular time for the last 7 months.
Yep.
Who knows? Maybe you would have half the time. Who knows? Maybe not. I don't know. But I guess we're here now, and you've only seen the child a couple times. So I'll implement the reasonable parenting time policy schedule for parenting time at this point. Like I said, if you had significantly more time over those months, then I may very well be moved to have given you more time. But
okay,
since you haven't, I have to deal with the situation as it is. And so where is it? All right. So essentially for a child up to a year old, it'd be parenting time on Wednesdays from 5 to 8 and Sundays from 12 to 6. And then starting when the child turns 1, it would be from 9 o'clock Saturday till 6 o'clock Sunday, and Wednesdays from 5 to 8 as well, plus a holiday schedule and additional time in the summer, 1-week blocks each month in the summer and things like that. Then when the child turns 2, it would be every other weekend, half the summer and half the holidays. So unless things change, that's what it would be going forward. Obviously, motions are filed all the times in these types of cases, and things change here and there if proper proofs are made. But at this point, the reasonable parenting time would be the parenting time that would be ordered. All right.
Okay.
All right. Is there anything else for today then?
I'd like to talk about the child care that it says that's on here. Is that child care being paid to her mother to watch the child, or a licensed facility that I'm paying on?
Did you put that in your motion?
I believe it is. It's under child care on the paper that I put on next to it.
It says, like the court to order parenting time is every weekend, as I am fully capable of my son providing for him on my time. I have stable living environment, a bed, and everything he will need. It's in the best interest to have parenting time to spend with myself, because he deserves to have both of his parents, and also his brothers deserves to be taught things only a dad can teach. Parenting time, child care, child support renewal. Right. So the child care is part of the current support obligation, and it's $573 per month. Ma'am, since the time that you had your final conference with the prosecutor's office, usually Linda over there, has your child care changed at all?
No, ma'am. Or no, sir.
And who provides your child care for you?
My mom.
And how much do you pay her?
It's $176 a week.
And does she run like a child care center, a daycare center or something?
She does not.
Does she have other children that she provides child care for?
She has guardianship of her 2 other grandchildren, but I have called into other child care facilities around the area, and they don't have any spots open anyways.
Okay. Sir, it doesn't sound like there have been any changes since the order was entered to the childcare situation.
Okay, so the money that I'm paying to her mother could very well just be going right back into her pocket and getting double of what I have to pay. Seems like I'm getting scammed, getting screwed over on this.
Well, I would agree that I usually scrutinize situations where a grandparent or a family member or relative is providing the childcare, but you would have had the opportunity to do that when that order was entered, or before that order was entered.
I didn't even know the order was
Good
entered.
point.
It wasn't talked about on our first meeting.
At this
I
point,
just got the paperwork right here and it says, I mean, I agreed to the $627 for the child support. I understood that. And then when I got the paperwork, the child care is thrown on top of it. And it brings up to $1,250 a month. And with my pay stubs, I have those here too. That's just unreal. I have a newborn child as well.